Assalamualaikum Zur.
Assalamualaikum.
Clean Bhatti from.
Yes, of course.
I believe on the same wavelength as what we were
You have
just.
filled your pockets, every pocket, with such care. No empty space is permitted to go waste.
Well, actually, I have about 20.
Fine?
20 pockets
20 pockets.
everywhere.
So you must have been carrying scores of things.
Lots of film, cameras.
Yes, good. Okay.
Huzur, question regards Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam,
Yes.
who we were told in a hadith by it was in Abu Dawud,
Yes.
in his grave. The Sahabi asked, Ya Rasulullah, how will you be asked,
You'll respond to.
yes,
Yes.
yes, how will you know of this
Yes.
invocations
Yes,
when
I
you
know.
have mixed with the dust?
Yes.
Now the question arises in my mind,
No, what was the answer? First finish the hadith, full hadith.
but the hadith, yes. Rasulullah sallam said, the earth has been forbidden by Allah to damage the bodies of the prophets.
Right.
That is my question.
Yeah.
If you could shed some light on that. Does that go against nature? Does that go against the Quran?
You see, we know from the study of the Old Testament that the bones of prophets were carried in a sacred box, which did not have any flesh on them. It is not the bodies which are mentioned, but bones of the prophets. So this hadith has to be understood in conformity with the history of prophets. The best answer which comes to my mind is the answer which was given already by Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu, that God will not bring two deaths upon you. He would not let your body die and disintegrate, and also your message die and disintegrate. So perhaps Muhammad Rasulullah sallam was referring to this second part, that the message of the prophets is never permitted to disintegrate until it has reached its conclusion. And in that sense, there is no question to be asked. We know that the message of Muhammad Rasulullah sallam is still alive. Apart from that, it is possible that some bodies of some people are preserved by Allah by some natural factors. And of that we hear that sometimes some bodies were unearthed, or even after 100 years, and they were sort of mummified by nature. So I do not deny the possibility of some prophets of Allah having been treated by nature in the way we find through our common experience. And I believe if a body can be preserved or could be preserved, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam's body stands the best right to be treated like that. But that is only a belief. We don't know, we can't say anything. As far as his spiritual body is concerned, we can say with greatest certainty that it will never be permitted to disintegrate, and if it is forgotten and left out, then we will, as Ahmadis, we bring it again together, and this is the attempt, the effort we are making, we are dedicating ourselves to achieve. Another thing, this interpretation of the hadith was not supported by some other scholars, because in one roya of Hazrat Imam Abu Hanifa, he saw that he is digging the grave of Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and he sees the bones spread out and disorderly, and some bones which do not belong to him are there as well. So he picks up bone after bone and says, this is the right one, this belongs to Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and puts back in the grave, and rejects some bones as not belonging and throws them out. Now this dream was related to some other scholars of the time. It was very beautifully interpreted, but the issue I am raising now is Nobody said that this dream is satanic, because Rasulullah's body could never be disintegrated, and you are talking of bones, so this dream has to be a satanic dream. When it was interpreted, then Hazrat Imam Abu Hanifa understood the message. It was interpreted that God will give you the wisdom and light to separate the wrong ahadith from the right ones, for usage in the inferences you draw relating to Islamic jurisprudence. So in your fiqh, God will give you special insight to find out which were the words of Muhammad Rasulullah Sallam and which were just related to him but did not really belong to him. And this dream came to be true in that sense so beautifully, so clearly. The whole history has given the evidence in favor of this interpretation. So some spiritual things are to be interpreted, and one should not overmuch emphasize certain physical elements of these things, physical aspects of these things, which you cannot testify anyway. Why waste your effort and energy? How many graves of the Prophet you are going to dig to find out if they are intact or not? Right?
Right.
Thank you.
One more small one in regarding to the same subject.
Not like the small question of whether Isa Khan Sahib. Please.
On behalf of my mother who asked, and I remember you did,
Beg pardon?
on behalf of my mother,
Okay.
the question arose, and I suppose Hazur did touch on the subject of this on a khutbah a few weeks ago, that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to pray the torment of the grave, Qabr ka azab. We are unclear as to what that is.
Spoken at length on this issue, repeatedly, and also I think during my question relayed through television. So you better wait for that question and session to be released for the sake of Americas, and they will begin to come to you inshallah within next 3 years, 3 months, not 3 years.
Jazakumullah.